Hello, how are you? All right, let's see. Can you guys see me or can you see the presentation? I wonder if you can see my face or you can see me because I want it to be me and not the presentation. Oh, here, I think it's me. I think it's me. All right. Thank you guys. This is one of my favorite meet-ons to do. So I'm excited. I'm sorry that we're getting started a couple of minutes late. I couldn't log in. I don't know why. My name is Sarah Tagander. I'm a national field manager with nutraMetrix, helping you make this year your best with nutraMetrix. I'm excited tonight because I would like to talk about social media, one of my favorite topics. I happen to be about the same age as Mark Zuckerberg. So while I was on one side of the Charles River in Boston, he was on the other side creating a little thing called Facebook. I remember my mom said to me, you have to get off of that Facebook. It's going to be dangerous. And today I'm often telling my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, can we have a normal conversation or do you have to be on Facebook? Seems like everybody is on Facebook today. So let's talk about how we can use social media to help your nutraMetrix business. Sorry if my paper here is loud. It keeps falling down. All right. So just looking at social media is a waste of time. That's not what this is about. This isn't about just looking through your Facebook news feed and seeing who's doing what. No, this is about you trying to connect with people, specifically either nutraMetrix consultants or potential nutraMetrix healthcare professionals to help you grow and further your business. There's three things that we do. We don't just scroll through. We expose the business, we expose our products, and we expose our trainings. So we can do those three things and we can do them with social media. Boom, you can do everything on such a bigger scale to help you grow your business. Facebook is the main form of social media that I use today just because I'm finding that my target demographic, the age that I'm looking to connect with, they're mostly on social media. Doesn't mean I don't use other forms of social media. That's just what we're going to talk about today. If anyone would like to talk about a different form or we want to dive deeper, connect with me through the nutraMetrix Facebook group. We can certainly schedule a meet on about that. But today, the main form is going to be Facebook. And so if we look at our Facebook news feed and we look at it like we have our own news channel, our own TV show. So if you watched an hour of programming on television, what would that look like? It's going to be about 80-20. 80% is going to be the main programming and 20% is going to be the commercials. That's how I want you to think of your Facebook newsfeed. I want you to think about 80% of it as the main what's going on, what you have going on, what you're doing. So just living your life. You know, it's going to be you maybe taking a selfie with your business partners in Miami, you working at home with your pajamas on, you hanging out with your coworkers, and that might be your latest nutraMetrix healthcare professional partners. Just that day to day, what you have going on. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of the highlight reel, but people also want to know the story behind it, the struggle, how you got to where you were. You have to figure out how to tell that story, beginning, middle, and end. People always want the story of the, damsel in distress, saved by the handsome knight, and how did that happen? And how did you stay away from the dragon? And that could be, you were wasting your time 40 hours, at a job. And your new life now is you really get to do something that's fulfilling. And you're so happy you found that because day in and day out, look at what it looks like. And 20% is going to be those commercials. It's going to be some products that you're exposing. It's going to be you saying, like, I need help. Do you guys know anyone who is a licensed massage therapist? Do you know anyone who really would love to start in healthcare? Something like that. And that's going to be more the little commercial. So some people say that there's more of a ratio, whether it's, you're going to post 3 to 5 times a day. I like to be a little bit more organic about it, but we all could definitely use a little bit more discipline when it comes to managing and setting up and establishing our Facebook accounts. So, if you need some accountability on that, if you need to make yourself a checklist, if you want to reach out to me and we can work on that a little bit more, I think that consistency is definitely key when it comes to your Facebook. Um, so the other thing I would like to talk about is pages. And so when you're on Facebook, what you're going to do is you're going to find some business pages that you can target and work with. I like to look through the pages because I like working with business owners. And so it just makes sense to me. Most businesses with physical locations, which are the ones we're trying to work with, are going to have a Facebook page. And so the ideal client for me is typically your independent healthcare practitioner. And they like someone that's on social media because I find that they have a platform, they have a presence that we can then potentially use to help market their products. So I like as many of these as I can. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to the coffee shop with my daughter. I'm going to a new yoga studio. I'm hanging out with friends. I'm going to networking events. I'm picking up all these cards. And I have stacks and stacks of business cards and brochures all around me. And sometimes I find like I'm going to lose these. I don't know about you. I'm not always the most organized. But when I go home, if I like these pages on Facebook, I know I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to lose that Facebook like. And I will periodically go back through pages I've liked on Facebook to kind of trigger my memory of people that I know I need to connect back with. But then what do I do with those is I add those to an interest group. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So if you are on Facebook, you can see here on the left hand side, and this is if we were looking at Facebook on our desktop, not on our mobile. You can see here on the left hand side there's a place that says interests. You can add an interest. So I'll set up an interest and I will call it licensed health professionals, around me, or I might even break them up into areas if I'm finding I'm working in a different state or working somewhere else. And then what I will do when I like a page is you can see here when you've liked a page, if you toggle over where it says like, you can then add it to your interest group. And then when you go back and you click on that interest group that you liked, let's see if we can go back here. If you click on that, so see where it says projects, if that for me said licensed healthcare professional, if you click on that, your whole news feed is going to change into people straight from that interest group. It'll just be all those posts from the pages from that interest group. And you can just get right in there. And instead of you just scrolling through your former high school boyfriend, your, college roommates, people that you've met, your Aunt Bernice's posts, instead of you doing that, you can go right in and you can interact and actually make it some meaningful time for you on Facebook. That saved me so much time when I discovered how to do this and really made it so I just got in, I did what was important in Facebook, and I got out. And I'll tell you some more stories as well. You can also add people to a Facebook list in the same way. So when you've liked people, you can add them to a group. It'll already have groups. So for me, it shows up, people who live in my area, people who went to my high school, people who had jobs with me. If I've listed different jobs and companies I've worked for, but I can make my own list or tag as well, and I can do the same thing. And I can go through and I can just see people that fit that tag or that category. So I like to interact with people that are from this interest group. They usually will say like 5 posts and make a comment. I believe in sales, I've heard that you need to make 7 impressions before you're going to close the deal, before you're going to make the sale. And I think even all those little likes and comments and interacting on social media, to me, I think that all counts. I think that if I like 5 of their posts and comment on one and they're saying, who is this Sarah Tegender? By the time I pick up the phone to make that call to the office manager or the healthcare professional, hey, there's a shot. There's a shot that they're gonna remember my name and say and think that they need to speak with me in the back of their mind, and we are going to set up that first appointment. So I just like to try to take the cold out of cold calling, just to make it a little bit warmer, to really get to know who I'm talking to. Okay, another tip about social media, and this is more as I'm prospecting for people to be nutraMetrix consultants with me, is to send direct messages. And the reason why I send direct messages is because Facebook puts that all into their algorithms, and the people that you're going to direct message with are going to see more of your posts in the Facebook news feed. For whatever reason, Facebook says that you're more relevant to them, and they will make your post show up in their news feed. So I just some of the last Facebook messages that I've had. One was with a girl that I worked with before. I saw that she started renting out an apartment on Airbnb in a city that I would like to visit this year. And so I messaged her and I said, "Hey Jill, haven't talked to you in a while. I see that you are renting out your place on Airbnb. Tell me more about it. How many people does it sleep? I might want to rent it." Hey, found out she was traveling to Boston that week. We got together for drinks. I met some of her coworkers. She now works in the healthcare field. How crazy is that? We met together and we talked a little bit more about what I did. I will sometimes join groups, which I'll tell you about in a second. And every time that I am in a group and then I reconnect with someone or connect with someone for the first time, I'll send them a quick message. And I will say, "It was so nice to connect with you." And I've had people say then, "Sarah, what do you do?" Well, funny you should ask. And I actually told my little I implement who I am statement. Woman ended up being a nurse practitioner and said, "I cannot wait to meet you. We've already had the proposal meeting and now we're working on scheduling the implementation meeting." All from someone that I connected with on Facebook. And once we connect, then when I meet her in person, I'm like, "It looks like your daughter is the same age as my daughter." I have a little bit more that I know about her that I can bring up in conversation. I love that. And I feel like if it's on Facebook, it's public knowledge. We talk about it. I've told you guys this before. And so join groups. I'm just going to show you, what this looks like. I think this is, yeah. So you can go on Facebook and you can make a search. And so, this is the screenshot that I found was Reebok Classics. I'm not into Reebok Classics. This was just what I found on Google. But if you put in, let's say, massage therapists or healthcare professionals or professional sales reps or whatever keywords you think you might want to join a group about, if you then search and you click on groups when you're searching on Facebook, you can join some public groups. So I'm not talking about private groups like whether we're part of the nutraMetrix consultant support page group. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a private group. I'm talking about public groups. There's a lot of these interest groups that are out there. And I think that has been a huge thing for me. I'm in some groups. I also belong to another social media site that works really well with Facebook called Meetup, Meetup, meetup.com. Meetup has really helped me meet people locally. And sometimes I will even just look through the list and try to connect with people on Facebook who are part of the meetup, even if I can't make the event. So I'm going to one tomorrow morning. It's a networking event. It's at 8:30 to 9:30, just down the street from me. I've already looked at the list as to who's RSVP'd, and there's at least 4 healthcare professionals who are going to be there. So it's worth it for me to just go down the street for a networking event for an hour and have the potential to meet 4 healthcare professionals who are obviously there because they're trying to grow their business. So I really like that targeted approach when it comes to social media and working really smart when it comes to this. It's a great way that you can interact. You can find people who are doing, exactly what you're looking to connect with them about. And you already know that you have that common ground, that common interest. And so when you approach them, again, it's not really a cold call. It's like, well, I'm at a networking event. So clearly I'm at a networking event to network. You're at a networking event. You're there to network. So when I meet you and I give you my card, I already know you're probably trying to grow your business. And that's what I do. So it's the perfect fit. This is why I always tell you guys I don't cold call, but I meet new people every single day. I meet people in a very targeted way. And I like to say that I'm a really highly networked person. I've been working on that since probably the age of 14, and just trying to build my network, be a resource for people. My last and final tip when it comes to social media is to be able to brand yourself. I'm going to show you some examples. So, one example of when you're branding yourself, Sue Pascal does this really well. I'm going to show you what she does. Every time that Sue posts, she'll put at the bottom, Slim with Sue. So she'll post a recipe. You guys know Sue Pascal is the director of TLS, Transitions Lifestyle System. That's our weight management group division. Works really nicely with nutraMetrix. And so she'll post and she'll put slimwithsue.com. This is a great way for her to target people towards directly what she's trying to market, which is her products, which is her coaching, which is all around the TLS solution. The Stacks also do this really nicely. They have a website called the Stack GRP, stands for group.com. So Ryan and Sarah, they just did a seminar in Hawaii, and they're saying it's so great to be with www.thestackgrp.com for a seminar in Hawaii. We're so grateful that we were able to buy our groceries for free with cash back, all thanks to what we've learned by building the stackgrp.com. They'll do things like that and to really brand themselves. And then what this is it's more of a lead magnet. So when people see it, the lead will go back to Sarah and Ryan, Sarah, Rose, and Ryan Stack. And so I think that just makes a lot of sense. I know that I was talking to Ryan at our World Conference down in Miami, and he said that this was just built on one of our distributor recruiting sites, our DRSs, which is about $15 a month. Really affordable, really beautiful templates, and they did a really nice job putting that together. And he's told me it works. He gets leads from it. And when I've used things like lead magnets before, directed URLs to get back to me, it has been really helpful. We also have the ability to make mini websites through our unfranchised. We can have unlimited mini sites. We can have unlimited DRSs. I think we can only have one mini site at a time, but you can always change it. So, and then we can buy what I like to call a vanity URL. So you might have a vanity license plate. I would like to buy a vanity URL. Sorry, get things going off on my computer. And so I bought for my daughter, ellatogender.com, and redirected that over to a mini website that I made right for DNA Miracles. So you can see that here on your screen. ellatogender.com goes right over there. So when I'm telling people about our baby line, our baby division, it's really targeted. So I love using social media, but I like using it in a very targeted way. I like using it in a targeted way that goes directly back to me. I think that that's really important. And I think in order for you to not waste your time, scroll through news feeds that you're doing, you really need to follow these tips. I'll go back through them again. One is to be consistent, whether it's 3 to 5 times a day or just every day. Stay consistent when it comes to social media. Target businesses through Facebook pages. Tip number 3, add those to an interest group. My tip number 4 is to add people to an interest group. So if you do want to go in and scroll through Facebook, at least you're doing it in a very targeted way that's going to help your business. 5 is to send direct messages to people. Through private messaging, it's going to help your post show up in the people that you're trying to target, their Facebook news feeds. Number 6, join groups. That's a great way to expand your network and get to know new people. And tip number 7 is to create some sort of lead magnet or place, whether it's a website, whether it's one of our mini websites, where people are going to be able to find you and link right back to you. Again, my name is Sarah Tagender, National Field Manager for nutraMetrix, helping you make this your most efficient and effective year with nutraMetrix. I'll stay on. I have 3 minutes before I actually have to run to an appointment. So I'll stay on if you guys have any questions for me about social media or otherwise. Oh, thank you, Trinity. I like to summarize as well for people who are taking notes. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys use these tips. They really have worked for me. Will I be listing the 6 steps you said? I can list them. Maybe I'll put them in the notes when I re-upload this broadcast. Expose the business, expose the products, expose the trainings. Which is what J.R. Ridinger says. He says to sell the business, sell the products, sell the trainings. I just say expose. When will the recording be available? By tomorrow. I usually try to turn them around within 24 hours. I hope you guys share this with your groups. Oh, good. I'm glad this was helpful. All right, I have got to get myself to an appointment. But if you guys have any more questions about this, feel free to tag me directly. I usually will make these an event on Facebook. So then it's a really great place for us to be able to interact. Thank you, Michelle, for being on this morning. I appreciate it. So I hope that this was helpful, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Have an awesome, productive day.